Happy Monday. Well, it's Monday for me, which means it's Tuesday for you guys. And I was supposed to have a video up today, but Amazon kind of screwed me on that one. But we're making up for it. So today, going up to work. We're going up to the mod garage. I have some more jobs that I'm doing. I'm finally working on an FA20 WRX because I know a lot of you guys have wanted that for a while. So I think I'm doing a front mount intercooler, air oil separator, spark plug change, whole other laundry list of goodies going on that car. So I'm assuming it's going to be about an all-day install day, which should be fun. I mean, it'll help pay for the EG33 stuff because I still need to buy the turbo for that thing, just because it's a lot more expensive than I thought. But I'm already running late, so let's let the STI warm up. We'll get a cold start. We'll go bug Brian. We'll go install some parts on some cars. I'll never get over how good that sounds. Back up at the mod garage. Now, some of you guys might remember this car. This car's almost done. The motor's back in, the motor's assembled and everything like that. If I can open that. So the motor's in there. It's ready to go. I was waiting on a gasket to show up that just showed up today. So if I get time after this WRX install, I'm gonna work on that because I'd like to be able to at least get the turbo in, turbo inlet, intake manifold, all that stuff back on the car. So that way it's just putting the oil cooler on the car, which you guys pointed out, yeah, we did not reuse the old oil cooler. We did swap over to a Perrin external cooler. So that one's all good. That one's all good to go. So now that we have everything for that one, we can like finish up the Hawkeye. But I gotta get both of these cars out of here to make room for this WRX to come in here. So let's push some cars out. You're gonna help me.
Okay.
We just pushed out that white Hawkeye and this hatchback right here, and I feel so gross, dude. This car is just taken over with fucking spiders. You guys know how I feel about spiders, and they're literally everywhere. They are the car now. We need to burn this thing. Oh God, that's not okay. Now that Spider Central has been like taken care of and gone, let's wait for this WRX guy to show up and then install, I think that entire box of parts, or that pile of parts right there, is everything I'm installing. So actually, I'm gonna start opening all those. Spiders, man. You gotta spider bomb this whole place now, man. Box number one. What do we have? You didn't tell me about this. Am I installing this? A rear brake light? Grimspeed fender shrouds. IAG air oil separator. I'll open the box now so I don't have to do it later. Radiator hoses, couplers, pipes, all front mount accessories, and I'm guessing this is the front mount itself. Yep, there's our front mount intercooler cooler. So over here we have the Grimspeed front mount intercooler core for the FA20. We have all of the charge piping and couplers. We have radiator hoses we're doing, fender shrouds. There's a third brake light back there, but I didn't know we were doing that. So we may or may not do that today. And then we have an IAG air oil separator. So I think the way I'm gonna start this today is, and spark plugs. And we have these spark plugs that we have to put in. Which I guess I'll just set right there. You just hang out there. So I think the way I'm gonna do this is when the car comes in, we'll get it up, we'll drain all the coolant out, we'll get the radiator hoses in, then we'll probably start with the AOS, do the fender shrouds because those are easy, then jump to the front mount intercooler set, and I guess we'll kind of see where we go from there. So for now, we're just waiting for this car to show up. So this is the WRX that we're gonna be working on today. So we're doing front mount intercooler, which means top mount has to come off, charge pipe has to come off. We're doing fender shrouds. I already got this little duct piece off. We're doing radiator hoses, upper and lower, so I'm gonna have to drain the cooling system. We're doing spark plugs. We're gonna have to get those old ones out of there. I'm gonna have to move the ECU. Whole bunch of stuff going on. So the first couple things I'm gonna do is get the top mount off, get the charge pipe off, start draining coolant. From there, I just wanna let the car cool down for a little bit just because it just got driven here. So I don't wanna burn my hands. Like it sucks to do that. So I gotta catch my breath. I'm out of shape. I'm out of shape, Brian. So let's start disassembling this. I might throw the fender shrouds on just because those are like easy. It's a couple clips and it's one less box that I have sitting over here. So start disassembling, draining some coolant. So this thing is pretty much disassembled at this point where I'm ready to start going on it. I'm waiting for the coolant to finish draining down there just because we are doing upper and lower radiator hoses. Just makes life a little bit easier. So, well, we have to drain the coolant anyways. Well, obviously we have to drain the coolant since we're doing radiator hoses. So I'm probably gonna leave the upper hose off. I'll probably put the new hose on the bottom side down there just because I'm not really gonna be working down there. But while I'm waiting for all that to drain, I think I'm gonna jump over here and start doing spark plugs because this side is already fairly accessible for me to get to. Because I have the battery out. So while the coolant continues to drain, I'm gonna knock out spark plugs on this side. It's the exact same as doing it on any EJ, with the exception of obviously you take the battery out over here. On this side, you have to move this ECU box out of the way to be able to gain access to the coil packs and the spark plugs down there. So we'll do the easy side first, knock out the driver's side, get those ones replaced. We'll get the other side replaced, and then from there, I think we're going to do the air oil separator. I also threw the fender shrouds on, pretty easy. It's just one bolt, one Allen head right there, and then you reuse the pop clip up there. These are the Grimspeed ones. Personally, I've never been a fan of fender shrouds. I just don't think they, I don't know, I just don't really think they look the best, but they're not really functional either. But, you know, there's some, it's just not my cup of tea. So let's get some spark plugs knocked out. Spark plugs are knocked out on this, all done. Really not bad on FA20s. Biggest thing, you just got to move this ECU a little bit out of the way, get the battery out of there. So we have brand new NGK Iridium spark plugs in here. I also went through and I swapped out the lower radiator hose right there while I had the car up in the air. Got the drain port put back on the radiator. So now it's AOS time. Once we get the AOS on there, then we're going to do the front mount intercooler. I actually might get the front mount intercooler core. No, I'm going to wait to get the core on there. We'll do one install at a time. So I've never done this install before. It looks like there's a hot mess of stuff back there, so let me run through IAG's instructions, start to figure this out because like I said, it's my first time doing an AOS on an FA20. Can't be that hard, right? So I got the air oil separator installed. It was just a really long time lapse because I didn't really know what I was doing and I was going by IAG's step-by-step instructions. It's really not bad. I wouldn't say it's any harder than doing it on an EJ. It's probably a little bit easier than doing it on an EJ, but it's also probably a little bit more annoying only because of like the mess of, I'll show you guys. There's like a ton of like brackets, messes, like wire mess, ECUs up in the corner where the AOS normally goes. But aside from that, like hose routing and everything, probably like 4 out of 10 easier than an STI. So we have our AOS up here in the corner. It's just a Street Series IAG AOS. So as you can see, all hoses are hooked up. Routing is pretty easy on this one. You have to replace the breather fitting down in the block right there for the drain, but it also wires off. So you've got drain right there, breather right here. This goes over to the head on that side. This one is breather over to the intake manifold here. The coolant lines are like stupid easy. You've got one of them here that reuses the OEM hose, goes up and connects right there, and then this like super long one that goes down there to the turbo, and then the last PCV one just goes down to the turbo inlet down there. So that'll be fun getting a charge pipe through all of that, but that is a problem for a different day. So now that AOS is installed in here, I'm gonna get the upper radiator hose in, the radiator shroud. Once that's in, then we're going to jump down to start doing that front mount intercooler over there. This shouldn't be too bad. After I get the this mess taken care of, we'll get that parent shroud put back on right here. Let's do the little stuff. Let's just get all that out of the way. Radiator hoses, shrouds, get it buttoned back up just a little bit. So the last couple things that we got to wrap on this is getting this intercooler on here. So it's not much different than an ETS one. We're gonna have to come in here, get the core on here. Once we have the core, or we're gonna have to move this situation here. We'll probably just do what I did, move that sensor down underneath of the AC condenser, move this horn somewhere back over here so that way it still works. And then once that's cleared up, we can get the front mount on there. So the Grimspeed front mount, I've never installed this one before. It's not too bad. You have one bracket up here that mounts up to it. You've got these two side brackets that end up bolting down on this lower frame rail portion. So not too bad. Let's get the core on, start messing with piping. So the cold side of the intercooler is done at this point. This side was pretty easy over here. The hot side is pretty stupid. But then again, that's just WRXs in general. So we need to take off, I think we take off this piece. I don't know. I don't quite know what's going on here with the WRX stuff. Like there's a lot going on right there, right in front of the turbo. All that's left is one of these couplers here and that charge piping. After that, the intercooler's done. Like it's pretty easy to install a front mount on these cars. I wish Grimspeed's instructions were a little bit better because they don't really give a lot of detail. They say, grab the angled coupler. Like what degree coupler do you want me to grab for this? So, oh yeah, Matt's here by the way. Matt Swing Up. He's doing a turbo replacement on an 05 WRX. So we're gonna fight with this thing, get this guy in there. Once that's in, then I just gotta fill it up with coolant, trim the bumper, radiator shroud, fan back in. Should be done at that point. Front mount is on the car, fully installed at this point. Kind of sucked, just the hot side sucked, just because there's like so much happening down there where the turbo is. But I mean, it's an FA20, so I mean, you know, it is what it is at this point. So next up, radiator fan can go back in, get plugged back in. Radiator shroud can go back on. Once that's on, we can trim the bumper, get the bumper back on, get the splash guard dealio right there back on, fill it up with coolant, burp it, and at that point, I think this thing's gonna be good to go. I am curious. Oh, and we have to load the base tune on this thing. I forgot about that. So I mean, it's getting there. It's not bad. It's really not as bad as I make it out to be working on FA20s. It's a little bit more annoying than doing it on EJs. Like, yeah, there's a lot more simplification and things, but just getting like all the coolant hoses back there, trying to work around those, trying to get, it is what it is. So wrap up, let's do the thing right here. The upside up here, everything's pretty much cleaned up. We have our new radiator shroud on. I just went down there, got the splash guard and everything back on. So next up, we need to get the bumper trim. So similar to what we did on my STI, we are removing that lower grill portion. If you guys are curious on how to do this, honestly, it's just a couple like pop clips up here that go along there. I'm gonna trim off all of the tabs that you'll end up seeing after that, just so it looks a little bit cleaner, and so that way there's not schmoo hanging around everywhere. Once this is cleaned up, we'll come over here, we'll get all that wiring down there tucked up, put back up in here, fill her up with coolant. Actually, I'm gonna fill her up with coolant now, and then after the bumper goes back on, we can just, we're gonna have to load up the base tune. So we'll load up the base tune, burp it, and I think that's it for this one. So we've made strides of progress today. This WRX is just about done. All I have to do is, we're waiting on the customer to tell us if it's okay to trim the fog bezel. I'll show you guys what needs to be trimmed because it just doesn't work with this intercooler piping kit. And I've rotated that piping as much as I can to try to accommodate it. But we're gonna get the base tune loaded up on the access port. I'm about to fill up the car with coolant. Let's get this thing burped. Let's get this base tune loaded on here. Let's get it started. Let's get this thing out of the garage. Let's get it full of coolant. If I give you that access port, can you get the tune loaded on it for me? Yeah, it's already loaded. You already took it out, put it in. Oh, wow. Let's get a cold start on her. Sorry if I blast your eardrums, Matt. Oh, car sounds awesome. So, no leaks from what I've seen so far. We do have check engine lights for EGR and TGV deletes, but this is an off-road use only car. So you know that's as expected. So we're letting the cooling system burp right now. We're getting all those bubbles out of there because remember we did do new upper, oh wow, that was a big bubble. New upper lower radiator hoses. I'm gonna go through here, make sure we don't have any leaks anywhere. If I can find the flashlight right there, which I don't think that we will. It's always good to double check though. Everything looks beautiful right now. No leaks anywhere from what I can see. Perfect. So we did EGR, TGV, AOS, front mount intercooler, radiator hoses, fender shrouds, radiator shrouds. I still have to run an oil pressure sensor, but aside from that, not too bad. Let's get all these bubbles out of this coolant, and then, well, I don't know. Let's give it some revs. Let's get these bubbles moving through here. right, so I got the WRX out of the shop now. Matt's doing this WRX up here. He's replacing the turbo on it. It's swapping from what, a TD04 to a TD05? Something along those lines. So I've been out here for like an hour trying to burp this WRX. It just does not want to burp. These FA20s are stupid with it. I believe I've gotten like 95% of the bubbles out of there. So once this thing is fully burped, we're waiting on a revised base map to come back from the tuner. Once we can get that on there, it should clear out any check engine lights that we have on there. It's idling great. I drove it around a little bit with the coolant funnel on it. It's the new process of burping cars. And with this fog bezel, it just did not want to sit flush with this Grimspeed intercooler piping. Like, I have pushed that piping back as far back as it will go, and it will just not sit flush. But I did a decent amount of trimming on it. I was able to get it sit like pretty flush, but not flush. So I mean, it's like, you won't notice it from like 4 feet away. It can't go back anymore because of this piping that runs down and through there. But geez, dude, there's still bubbles coming out of there. It's pretty much reassembled at this point, just waiting for the last of the air bubbles to get out of the cooling system. Once that's done, we can get that capped off. I'll drive it around a little bit just to make sure it's all golden, but hey, it looks good with this front mount in here. I am digging that. The Grimspeed front mount, I like the core. I don't like the piping. That's the only thing I don't like about it, but engine bay is looking a lot cleaner in here. No more nasty top mount up there. We got a nice IAG AOS going on over there. All the fun shrouds going around the thing. Like I said, not my cup of tea, but it is some people's cup of tea. So let's get this thing like done being burped so that way we can help Matt out with that. All right, let's hop in here. Oop. Yes, it's a CVT, don't judge. Put you down, put you into drive. Drive, let's go drive you. Oh, dude, I kind of want one. Oh, we're scraping a little bit. Let's do a little pull right here. Brian, don't get mad at me. Oh, dude. I want one. You guys, can I get an FA20? This is fun. Everything's looking great on the access port too. We're scraping a little bit, which is kind of annoying. All right. All right. Bro, I want one! Matt! I want one! What? It's fun! It makes fun turbo noises! Bro, I want one. Omar, if you're seeing this, I'm actually kind of jealous of your car right now, man. This thing's actually fun. Bro, I want one. Is it bad that I kind of want an FA20 WRX now? Like, I kind of want one. I've never actually had like a modified FA20, but this thing feels good and it sounds good too. Maybe the next car will be an FA20 WRX. Maybe not though, it'll probably be a Nissan. Bro, it's getting weird up here right now. So I don't even know. Why is my aperture at f4? Get to 2.8, there you go. Do what you're supposed to do. So Matt's over here fighting with this turbo inlet, and it's kind of entertaining to watch.
Why is he acting like it's been all me? Picks up camera. Matt's been doing a shitty job on this.
Okay, all right, us. It's been us. We went to put this TD05 in the car, right? No go. No go. The water ports on it significantly larger than stock. The turbo itself, it's your turbo. Oops. Significantly larger than the TD04 that came in the car. So we ended up putting this TD04 back in. We cleaned it really well. Got new gaskets on there. Got new turbo inlet. Now Matt's doing this. You're doing great, Matt.
Thanks, dude.
He's doing great. He's doing great. And now we're just kind of kicking it, hanging out. Brian's got some golden ale big wave. Brian, how you doing?
Good. I got the better drink.
Not even. Not even. Oh!
Right now.
What do you mean we need an intervention? You're doing great, dude. It's like right there.
Yeah, see, the problem is this fuel line.
Look at that. It's like right there. The fuel line.
Sorry, the power steering line is getting in the way
Of what?
of this moving over more the way it needs to.
Just bend it. It's so close. It is like right there.
If we didn't have TGVs.
If we didn't have TGVs.
TGVs!
I keep
It's the little things!
Dude, I keep asking myself why we love Subarus, and then we go to do turbo inlets, and then I remember why we love Subarus.
We don't.
Because of turbo inlets. On the bright side, the blue WRX that I was working on outside is doing great. That one's living life right now.
Yeah, we almost need to like unbolt the turbo and hook this up first.
That's so much work. We have to take the downpipe back off. You look so funny with the headlights.
These aren't mine and I love
so
them.
funny with the headlights.
They're not mine and I love them. Do I look like an alien?
A little
Like
bit.
a half robot?
E.T.
E.T. phone home.
All right, we'll get it. Come on, we'll get it in there. All right, you guys, so it is the next day. I am so beat. That turbo install, turbo inlet, whatever Matt and I were doing, I was helping Matt do his side job, so that way we weren't both stuck up there super late, but we were both up there till about midnight trying to get that thing in. It was like everything we would touch broke. The oil return port from the turbo back to the engine, the hose on there, Father Time decided that it was that hose's time to die, and trying to swap out that hose while it's on the car is a nightmare, but it's on there. I do apologize for the delay in missing yesterday's upload. It was just things have been busy and we're trying to generate some side income to be able to pay for this turd down here. But anyways, like I said, you guys said you wanted more side jobs like that. I enjoyed doing the side jobs. I enjoy filming them and sharing them with you guys. So if you do want more of them, let me know. I'll keep filming them. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys on this one. So if you like the video, if you like the FA20 content, go ahead and hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, silver, cyan, purple, whatever color it turns for you. And if you like the FA20 content, maybe I'll keep an eye out, try to find a cheap FA20 WRX here in the near future to bring to the channel too. Who knows? But anyways, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit your boy up one of these corners. No idea which one I'll put it in quite yet. But with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.